This will be me talking about fairness and the way we understand fairness in our daily conduct, our daily lives. It's not fair, very common expression heard throughout the Western culture, I think especially America. It's not fair. One of the great cries for truth and justice. And what does it really mean? We see it all the time. We hear it all the time. It's not fair. It's very probably one of the first things your children learn about how life ought to be lived, and especially when one child has something another child does not. So we see it in disparity, in the difference between possessions and gifts and talents. You see it in all different aspects of life. We especially see it portrayed in sports, where we imagine that there's a referee and a fairness prescribed that cannot be altered or cheated. You cannot play outside of the rules. Fair play being one of our supposed greatest beliefs. It's not winning or losing, it's how you play the game. Of course, nobody actually believes that. We all believe quite often that it's about winning and losing. We pretty much believe that. Nobody particularly cares to lose a game, and you will see anger, indignation at anyone who would be forced into the losing position. And strangely enough, we all know that someone must take the losing position. There can be no game played, no contest where there isn't one winner and one loser. It is inconsistent to think that that would ever apply, that we could all win. But heaven forbid the losing fall upon us. It's the greatest crime against our humanity is if we would lose. So fairness. The thing that makes it interesting, you see it discussed in Job, probably one of the greatest books of all time. Job, somebody who suffers greatly at the hands of God, or at least with God's seeming approval or lack of concern, loses everything he has. A admitted righteous man, deserving of only good things, ends up losing everything except his life. He suffers greatly, loses his family, his fortune, his health. And then as the story progresses, he has friends come up, and rather than giving him comfort, they continue to attack his integrity, which even his wife says he should give up. Give up your integrity. Why do you hold on to your integrity? Just curse God and die. One of the great lines in the Bible, just curse God and die. His wife telling him, look, just give it up. Obviously God is now against you. And it seems to be true. And as the story progresses, the friends seem to be very unkind, unsympathetic to a man who's lost everything and has nothing but left in life. The only pleasure left to him is to scrape his skin with broken pottery and scratch at his sores. And rather than say, man, this really stinks, I'm sorry, dude, can I get you a glass of lemonade? Instead, they pick at him and say, well, it must be because you're not near the righteous person that you claim to be. Job all along defending himself and claiming that he does not and cannot for the life of him figure out what in the world God is trying to say to him, what he has done to offend God. Cannot come up with, just feels righteous, feels justified, and cannot for the life of him think what he could have done. He has done nothing. He says, let God come and talk to me. Tell me what I have done. And his friends offer no comfort, no lemonade, no rest for the weary, offering insult to the injured. In the end, of course, God comes to Job and says, okay, stand up like a man and you answer some questions from me. And Job hears of God's greatness, His glory, all the things that God has done that are so far beyond Job's comprehension, and says, if you're going to compare and try and understand what is fair in life, why don't you try and understand what life is itself? And Job sees, as God states, just some simple actions that he's taken to create a universe, to create the bizarre, amazing natural world and its order. And Job sees that all these things are too much for him to understand. He is dismayed before God and can only say, God, whatever you do, it is completely beyond my understanding. And I submit that even this thing, my suffering, the gifts you give, whatever it is, you are holy and righteous, and I have nothing to say before you. I stand mute. I have no defense. I deserve nothing, and I just submit myself to your authority. God chastises the friends who offered no comfort, little comfort to Job, and in fact just offered shameless attack. He chastises them severely and honors Job, who remained true to God, did not